afternoon. The fallout continues in the wake of a shooting, a massive police response, and what some called a riot here in downtown Salt Lake on Saturday night. 17-year-old Abdullahi Mohammed is awake today after being shot. His condition improving following that incident near the gateway.
And right now, Interim Salt Lake City Police Chief Mike Brown hosting a roundtable discussion with the media about what happened and where we go next. Breaking news special Shara Park just stepped out of that meeting to bring us the very latest. Shara, and tell us what happened during this roundtable.
Well, I'll tell you what, it was interesting. We sat there as a group. This was not a press conference. This was not something cameras were allowed inside for. And we sat there as a group and heard what the chief had to say as he touched on this situation with Abdi Mohammed, and then about policing in general, what's going on. We had the opportunity to ask him questions. Now, some of the things I want to tell you about that we talked about here, one was the Citizens Advisory Board. We had Dr. David Parker, who was there to talk about what this board is for, how it's supposed to reach out to the community. He's the chairperson. But the chief, he also mentioned that he wants this department to be as open and transparent as possible. He said that he met with Mohammed's family yesterday. He met with the mother of Abdi Mohammed, and he said there wasn't a dry eye in the room as they talked, and he got emotional talking about her. He said he took her to see her son in the hospital and watched as she held his hand. The chief said that he asked the family if he could come speak with them personally, and he did. He picked up Dr. Parker, he said, and went to the home yesterday and talked to about 25 people in the home about what had happened. He said he even apologized to the family for what had happened. And when we asked why he would apologize if he thought there was any fault there, he said wrong, right, or indifferent, it's never a bad thing. There's no shame in saying that you're sorry when a mother loses her child. So that's what he talked about there, and then also talked about how he could move forward and help this family heal. One other thing he talked about is a couple of plans in the future moving forward, what he would like to do, and one is he made a policy last week to anytime there was a suspicious call in the area of that Rio Grande area or in the Salt Lake area in general, he said they've now stepped it up to 2 officers responding to each of those calls. He talked about a new social worker program that he's hoping to implement in the next 30 days in that Rio Grande area for mental illness patients, heroin addict, any addiction patients who may be seeking help. So that's another outreach program that they're starting. And then in terms of the race card that we've heard a lot of people talk about, did this happen because this is a young black teen? Well, he said that in this case, I want to read this from my notes. He said sometimes the race card comes after situations like this, and I don't think race had anything to do with this. So again, Andrew and Lori, this was a very non-formal discussion, sitting down, talking to him about what is on the table right now, the fallout, everything that's happened with this shooting, and that was a little bit of what had happened. Now, Sandra Yee is also in there right now, and she will have more with the chief coming up later this evening for our evening show. She'll have an actual interview with him as well.
So, Shara, did you get any indication of exactly what may have transpired the moments before that teenager was shot?
You know, he wouldn't go into the events that unfolded in terms of like what happened at the Rio Grande and the officers that were involved and the victim. He did say that they are speaking with the victim who was allegedly being beaten by Mohammed. So he wouldn't go into those details. He went into more of what happened after the fact, meeting with the family, talking with the family. He said at one point that they were all hugging as he left the family's house. And so he wanted to express some of those things that had happened after the fact as all of this started building in the community on social media, and he wanted basically wanted us to know what was happening with that.
All right, an early effort at transparency there by the Interim Police Chief Mike Brown. Shara Park reporting there live here in downtown Salt Lake. Appreciate the update, Shara. And a related note here.